Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. Tesla's toughest market to get into has no doubt been Europe. Firstly, Tesla has no factory on the continent, so they had to ship from Fremont in the beginning and now also from Shanghai. But it's still a big logistic nightmare to get thousands of cars from the other side of the planet to Europe. Secondly, Europe is home to household names like BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, Opel, Volkswagen, Renault, Peugeot, Citroën, Seat and Volvo. All respected and established names in the auto industry and sitting heavily on the European market. No automaker from outside Europe has ever become the best-selling car of the month in Europe. The winner has always been made in Europe. But Tesla has changed this. Tesla has done the impossible, taken on the German car industry on their own turf. But this has not been an easy task and a long, bumpy road, but Tesla was the #1 selling car in Europe in September, making all kinds of history. But let's take a look at that history and what this might tell us about the future, because Tesla has hardly started their journey in Europe. So let's check it out and let's dive right in. So Europe is a very important market. It is the third largest car market in the world, just behind the US market, where Tesla is already the dominating force with 65% of the EV market. And that is just behind the Chinese market, where Tesla's Model 3 and Y are two of the best-selling EVs in the country. And Germany is kind of synonymous with the car industry. Germany is Europe's long-standing largest market for new passenger vehicle, as well as its largest producer. The country employs over 800,000 workers in the automobile and component manufacturing sector. And the German auto industry is part of the invention of the car. It dates all the way back to 1888, when the Motorwagen number 3 had gone into production, and by 1900 Benz and C had become the world's largest automaker, and has been leading the way in the luxury car market, quality and manufacturing ever since. If Tesla wanted into Europe, they had to take on the German car industry head on. No small task, and Germany didn't just jump on Tesla straight away. It is not that long ago that Tesla was struggling in the German market. Sales in the land of the Autobahn were meager compared to other European countries, and Elon Musk was concerned as he said, "I feel like if we can't do well in Germany, then that's not a good sign," he said in 2013 during a visit to a German Tesla service center. But 3 years later, things were looking up. Tesla sold more electric cars in Germany than any other automaker in 2015. And by 2016, the media was running stories with headlines like "German automakers who laughed at Elon Musk are now starting to worry." And they should, because Tesla was just about to release their new electric vehicle, the Tesla Model 3, a much more affordable EV, but with great performance that could give almost every German ICE car a run for its money. And in February 2019, Tesla started deliveries of their Model 3 in Europe, and suddenly the BMW M3 series, the golden standard of the performance sedan, was no longer the best on the racetrack. The humble little Model 3 beat it on the drag strip and the racetrack. And more than that, the Tesla Model 3 won the mid-size Car of the Year at the Golden Steering Wheel Award in Germany over the BMW 3 Series and the Audi A3 in 2020. on their home turf. A very important win for Tesla in Europe's biggest car market against some of the biggest names in Germany. So in 2020, Volkswagen didn't just worry a bit about Tesla anymore, but it has become obvious that Tesla was doing well in Europe and Germany, and we're starting to build phase 1 of what will become the biggest car plant in Europe. Right there in Germany, in the big boy's backyard. And the worry did evolve into something like a panic. The Volkswagen Group CEO Herbert Diess called for a meeting in November 2020 to talk about the so-called Mission T, which was about one thing and one thing only. How do we catch up to Tesla? But almost 1 year later, with the Tesla Berlin factory almost done, Volkswagen have not made any changes yet. So Herbert called for another meeting, and only a month later for another meeting. That Volkswagen need to transform its factories in order to catch up with Tesla, not just make better EVs. And he even took the unprecedented step to invite Elon Musk to address 200 Volkswagen's executive via video call, a move which he has taken a lot of flank from inside the company and its associated union. And Herbert might even lose his job over this and the trouble that Volkswagen are in. And it seems they have learned one thing. They cannot retrofit their old factories and think they will catch up with Tesla's insane production speed. That is about 3 times faster today than Volkswagen. And when the Berlin factory opens, we are probably looking at the Model Y that will be produced 5 times faster than the ID.3 does today, but with a 15 times better gross margin. So Volkswagen is talking about building a totally new factory close to its Wolfsburg factory. But they don't expect that car plant to be ready before 2026 to build their next-gen EV on the Trinity platform. So Tesla will have half a decade before Volkswagen gets close to what Tesla has today. But just imagine where Tesla will be in 5 years' time. When we look back to see where they were just 5 years ago, Tesla will more than 10x their sales and production numbers here in 2021 compared to their sales in 2016. Let that one sink in for a moment. 10x in just 5 years. No wonder Volkswagen and other German automakers are starting to panic, because they have no response to the fast-moving, agile company called Tesla. But this existential angst is not just based on fear of the future, it's based on what is happening right here and right now. In September, the Model 3 was the best-selling car in Europe. This represents the first time ever that any EV or any vehicle manufacturer outside Europe has taken the top spot. This is a huge achievement for Tesla. Tesla's Model 3 not only became the first EV to take the top spot as the best-selling car in a month in Europe for the first time ever, but it is also the first time in history that an automaker from outside Europe has taken the #1 spot away from the European automakers. Ford has never done this, GM has never done this, Hyundai has never done this, Toyota has never done this. Yeah, let that one sink in as well. This is huge. And Germany has become one of Tesla's biggest European markets, accounting for around 25% of the company's sales on the continent so far this year. And the European car buyers want electric cars, as well as the Germans. About 30% of new vehicle sales in Germany in October were electric, and the EV has overtaken diesel cars in Germany and Europe for the first time in history here in 2021. EVs were up 2x in October year over year in Germany, while the car market was down 20%. EVs are coming, and they're coming fast. Just look at this chart here about the EV sales numbers in Germany as of October the 7th. They have already almost tripled last year's numbers for the entire year. And as we can see, about 30% are now buying EVs. And that will not go down, but only go up. And Germany has a car market of about 3.5 million cars per year. And Germany will probably sell more than 30% EVs next year. So let's say 40% because everyone is ramping up EV production, and Tesla alone will probably produce and deliver more cars from their Berlin factory alone next year than Tesla has sold of cars in Europe for the last 2 years combined. So 40% sound pretty reasonable. Well, then we are looking at something like 1.4 million EVs sold in Germany already next year. That would be a 10x in only 2 years. And with 11 ships that are heading for Europe right now, and some have already arrived, with maybe something like 40,000 Teslas, Tesla will probably end up as the best-selling EV brand in Europe here in 2021. And that is without a factory on the continent. That bodes very well for 2022. But of course, a lot can happen, and Tesla has had a big advantage this year because they have been dodging the semiconductor shortage better than anyone else. By making new software to 19 different chips and going down the supply chain to find all the chips they can get their hands on, while the other OEMs have just been stopping production lines. And therefore dealers continue to face issues with availability of new cars due to chip shortage. As a result, unwilling to wait for more than a year for a new car, especially EVs, and they don't want to buy a new ICE car, many customers have turned to the used car market. And The Driven also reported that some independent dealers have been buying up Teslas and offering 6-month free trials in a complex dodge to harvest Germany's €6,000 tax incentive. So, Tesla's spectacular number in September and in 2021 in general may not be an accurate forecast of 2022 of how far ahead Tesla will be from all the others that has been struggling much more here in 2021. But then again, it just might, because Tesla has hardly started in Europe. But next year Tesla will become a German car manufacturer with the biggest EV plant on the continent, right there in Germany, with a capacity of 500,000 EVs per year when fully ramped. But again, this is just phase 1 of the factory. We still have 3 more phases to go through before the car plant becomes the biggest car plant in Europe by far, with a total production run rate of close to 2 million vehicles per year, becoming the biggest car manufacturer Europe has ever seen. What a rise for Tesla in Europe, making history once again. But the story is far from over, and can't wait to dive in to the next chapter called 2022. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.